New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning. On Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning. Beautiful Laura Styles. You got Rosenberg and Russ on the program.
Yes.
Russ. Listen, sir. I would say 2 months ago, tweeted some of my favorite newer artists.
Yes, let's get into that. I already know what you're about to do.
And Russ was one of the people I put on there. I was like, I like Russ.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that makes
Right?
he should
Makes
be on
great
that list.
music.
Thank you.
Raps really well. Cares about hip hop.
Thank
Fights
you.
for lyrics. Fights for great music.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
The internet's not so much.
Yeah, of course.
Social media was like, fuck Russ, fuck this. And I had no idea that this was a thing. Because my perception of you, before you got signed and putting out a record every week for 80-something weeks and selling out shows, I thought you were a beloved individual by all.
Oh, well, yeah,
That's not true.
No.
And I'd love to know when this hate for Russ began.
It came around during the come up when I was promoting self-sufficiency via me saying produce, mix, mastered, engineer, written by me. But like I've said before, and like I always say, like there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? You go to a songwriter's Twitter, you go to a producer's Twitter, an engineer's Twitter. What are they promoting? Platinum selling, platinum engineer, platinum writer.
Right.
Okay, well, like I'm all five. Big deal. Get over it. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I love it.
What's the problem with me saying that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because, and then at the same time, like, I'm trying to, as an artist, you have a bigger voice than the engineer. So as an artist, like, I got little white girls and little white kids knowing what mixing is. You know what I'm saying? Mixing engineers on their own are not gonna get the
Engineers
kids
do not
knowing
get
what-
their props.
They
at
don't.
all.
And so
At all.
like my message is that, a lot of people have a problem with my how and my, when, but my what is really the truth. You know what I mean? And my what is the self-sufficiency and the fact that because I do everything in the studio, I understand that each role is important. That's why I do say produce, mix, master, because the engineer is super important. Who's mixing it is super important. Who produces it is super important. You know what I mean? So people didn't like that. And then, when I wore that T-shirt,
What did the T-shirt say?
it said how much Zans and leans you have to do before you realize you're a fucking loser.
I like this shirt.
Yeah, you posted
I'm
it.
into this.
I wore it at the Day and Night Festival.
I posted that already? That about
posted
the
that?
shirt?
It was a long time ago, man.
You posted
Oh, wow.
you posted that like instantly. You and I remember the caption was "Shirt of a Generation."
Yes.
Kudos
job.
to you. But
He
a
can't
lot-
keep track of the Ebro times. There's too many stories.
There's a
at
lot
one
going
time.
on, man.
But a lot of hate came from that because people thought that I was calling addicts loser and I was making a joke about addicts. And the truth about that shirt is that that's not the case. I was more so referring to the little white kids in the suburbs who don't have real problems, who have fake issues with my parents just don't get me. It's just like, weirdo shit like that. Because I went to school with them, so I know I can speak on that. I went to school with them. I went to college with them. Like, I know what y'all doing and why y'all doing it. I was talking to those kids. I was talking to the kids who are, 17 playing beer pong and, you might be going through something, but
Or let's
realistic-
keep it real. Keep it 100. We've talked about this a lot on the show, probably over the last, 5 years?
Yeah.
The artists that promote this lifestyle
So let me get into
that
it.
don't even really get that high like that.
Well, let me get into that too. So, right? So I'm gonna work my way to that. So the reality is that that's what I was talking about. These little ass kids who are doing it because they hear it in a song or they see it on Instagram, and they're doing it because they just think like, you know what, might as like it's beer pong, my homies got it. Oh, Coke, Addies, Percocet, cool, Roxy's, whatever. I'm with it. Let's do it. And then before you know it, you're addicted. And now now you're addicted and that's a real thing. But you got to go back to step one in chapter one of why you even decided to try it. And that's who that shirt was designed for. Now, if you interpreted it as me saying all addicts are losers, then that's your prerogative. That's not what I was going for. You feel me? So the hate also originated from that. And then, when in RIP, but when Little Pete passed, a lot of people had a problem with my stance on what I was talking about. But
What was your stance on when Pete passed?
my stance was really nothing to do with Little Peep's depression or addiction, because all those things are real things. And I grew up around addicts, and those are real things. And no one's trying to diminish that or downplay that. My thing was about the kids, the 10-year-olds, the 10 to 15-year-olds. And it's been about that, which is why I wore that shirt before he passed. I've been saying that for years. My stance has been clear for years. And my stance was that I understand depression. I hear you. I get it. Addiction's real. My thing is that a lot of people's Instagrams get more plays, more likes, more everything than their music. We're living in a time where there's a lot of artists who are more popping on Instagram than Spotify.
Facts, super
You feel me? So you got to understand that your Instagram is reaching more people than your songs are, because your songs are only reaching your fans. Your Instagram antics are reaching explore pages.
And peripheral people who just follow you because they're curious, but they're not listening to your music.
Right. So my thing is, like, I hear that and I hear the depression. I get it. I'm not saying it's a joke. I never said it was a joke. In my tweets about that, I said it wasn't a joke. My thing is that when you are starting to put up Instagram clips and merchandise of you with the lean bottle or whatever it is, and it's not related to Peep at this point, but when you're starting to do that, I start to question, like, what are you doing, right? Because look, yeah, do I smoke? Yeah. Do I drink? Yeah. But am I making T-shirts with tequila on the bottle or with gin on the bottle? No, because at that point, I'm conscious of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So, like I've said, I'll continue to say, because at the end of the day, when in 20 years from now, I'm on the right side of the fence. When you are making merchandise or you on your Instagram are smiling next to Xanax, or you're smiling and well, I'm not smiling, I'm just crying for help. Okay, cool, but what you're doing
is that being interpreted by the kids that way?
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of two things. You are either doing it knowing kids are watching and knowing this is bad for kids. Me wearing a shirt with lean on it and smiling next to lean bottles, this is bad for the kids. You either know that it's bad for the kids, or B, you don't know what you're doing, but that doesn't mean it's still not bad for the kids. So either way,
right?
You're on the wrong side of the fence.
Right,
so
and there's
like
the C option, which is you don't give a fuck. You're only thinking about yourself,
which
and you're selfish,
which once again is you're on the wrong side of the fence. So the issue, back to your original question, where did all the hate come from? The hate came from, I went against the norm right now. The norm, unfortunately, in hip hop is to be on all that sort of stuff.
No wonder I like you, man.
Yeah, well.
Duh.
Well, now, so let me.
People don't like me,
It's
man.
really interesting, though, because when you hear other artists, right, that really promote being sober, like Tyler, the Creator, right? He doesn't get any shit for it.
Well, it's not even a matter of promoting being sober. It's a matter of you're just not promoting, even if you, in your downtime, you drink, you smoke, yeah, but you don't do it to an extreme limit, and you don't promote it. You're responsible with your platform.
Well, I've heard Tyler say taking drugs is fucking stupid. You're a fucking idiot if you take it.
Right.
As simple as that.
Right. Well,
I think, but Tyler, they already know Tyler doesn't give a fuck. I think they get a reaction from you sometimes on social media too.
Well, I
right?
mean, it's not even that, bro. It's just at the end of the day, I'm not in the mix, bro. You don't see me with songs with other artists. I didn't take my money and dip to
Not
LA.
true. You had a great song with Joey Badass and IDK.
That's
recently,
true, but my stuff is rare. Thank you, but my stuff is rare. Like I'm selective.
Yeah, you're selective with who you do.
I'm real. Like you can name 6 features. You can name it on 1.5 hands, but I'm not in LA. I didn't take my money, dip to LA, and be on the scene and go to events and whatever. Like I'm not in the mix. I don't know rappers like that. I don't really care to know rappers like that because I have my real friends. I'm 25, about to be 26. I know what's real in life. Like my mom, everyone's taken care of. My friends are taken care of. Like I'm good. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I did regular life from 0 to 24, broke and off. Like, so basically I did everything from 0 to middle school, high school, college, being off and not famous. And so I'm not one of these kids who doesn't know like reality and doesn't know themselves. Like I did all that off. So I'm sitting here kind of on the other side like, yo, this is kind of nutty what y'all doing and what y'all like, the games y'all playing. You feel me? And like,
do you feel no part of you would like to be like, I hear what you're saying, but I could also argue that by saying it the way you are, you're also inherently kind of pushing people away.
Oh, of course. Well, that's what I'm saying, though. The how is met with resistance, which is expected. And look, once again, to my point, I'm 25, 26. I'm not perfect. My how might offend you. It's harsh. It's abrasive. The timing, the when.
Is that the Jersey in you?
Is
the Italian Jersey in you that's kind of abrasive?
It might be, bro, honestly, like, my parents are all from, New Jersey, New York. my friends, Nigerian, and the
Nigerians are aggressive.
And the ones who
they'll
are
tell you off in a minute.
Right,
Suck
right.
their teeth and cuss you out.
Right.
and the ones who are Nigerian from the south side of Atlanta, where we be just joining each other. So it's like I grew up around like, get over it, bro. We're gonna make fun of you. We're gonna talk crazy about you. Like, get over it. Like, get over it. You know what I'm saying? Did you play sports with your friends when you were growing up? Did you play video games? Did you not talk shit to each other? Like, get over it.
Well, I also think too, the reason I say you sound a lot like me is because you are a person who is aware of reality.
Yeah.
You also, it feels like when I listen to your music, you've done your research just on music making and rap and the importance of hip hop, and you care about the culture. And I think that for a 25-year-old, as you said, is a different path than what's the norm for a lot of artists who just want to be accepted by everyone. Yeah. You're like, I don't really give a fuck about none of that. I have my fan base. Yeah. The question I have for you is, has any of the hate that you receive, or I don't even want to call it hate because I feel like it's just people trolling you.
It's hate though. It's negative. It's hate.
It's negative. But has it affected the fan base at all? Your fans know what it is, and that's good?
No, it has. And that's the reality. And that's the, you got to understand that's Zoo, the new album is about navigating throughout this quote unquote zoo. That is fame and that is being popping, being a celebrity, whatever, celebrity culture. And it does, because you got to understand, like, if you're a 16-year-old kid and you're in Nebraska, if you love Russ, right? But like you're in tune with internet culture and everything, you might feel hesitant to go on your internet and say, yo, I love Russ.
Or to buy tickets to a show and show up to a show.
Right, because you might feel bad about doing it. So you are affecting it. You know what I'm saying? And it gets a lot to deal with. But that's why, I'm over this shit pretty soon. I got 2 more albums in me, and then you're not gonna see me, because this is not a breeding place for a healthy mind. You see what it does to people. This is not where real people come from. This is not.
You mean celebrity world more than hip hop?
Like,
entertainment?
Yeah, just like, this is not, like, y'all know, like, this is not where real people interact at. This is like this whole shake hands, kiss babies, that's how the kids are doing, just so that you can get a spin or a playlist. Like, this is not reality. This is this weirdo ass culture, and I'm not with it. You feel me? I'm really not with it. If I was 19,
sometimes I feel that you overthink that though to a little degree.
Nah, it's not overthinking, because
this is what in every industry involves.
I agree.
Pleasantries and like.
I agree.
It's called networking.
Yeah, like
I agree, but like networking at the sake of fucking with people who don't fuck with you and you don't fuck with them for the sake of moving up, to me is fake. And I understand that if your end goal is to move up, then you just simply bite the bullet and you say, you know what? I will go to this event. I will show love. I will do this, just to move up. But then, everything is kind of, there's a hidden agenda with everyone.
Well, like, for example, I think
you-
I'm sorry, Laura.
ahead,
You're a really great example of that, and I've become very fond of your music. I play a bunch of your songs on my
Thank you.
Sunday
That's
night
amazing.
show.
That's amazing.
So when you came up the first time, full transparency for everyone, we heard there was some shit where, like, you had done something with the radio station and people were filming you and you were complaining about the station as they were filming with you. And I remember thinking, and we just had this conversation before you were here, we were kind of rehashing to get
Well, because I asked, why do people hate Russ?
Right, so we started having
what's the deal? I didn't get it.
So we started rehashing
I know the whole. I'm so.
But so in
aware.
the
I know the
specific
whole
case
deal.
of Hot 97, right?
Yeah.
I'm just giving you this example because I think there's value in here.
Yeah.
You came into it being like, y'all don't really fuck with me. Why am I doing X, Y, and Z? When we operate in a world where, particularly us doing the morning show, it takes rappers getting to a certain place for them to be.
I agree.
So you were kind of annoyed when we were actually doing something kind of cool.
Nah, that was, but that's the other problem I have.
And then
with
I
the
went to the
industry.
show, and then I remember the labels like, do you want to go? And I was like, it was a weeknight. I worked 2 jobs. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the fucking show. And guess what? I was impressed by the show.
Thank you.
Then I started playing the music on my show.
Thank you.
It was all, I think that's
but-
okay. Like,
no,
that's organic,
I
no?
do, but I still, like, and that's the other problem I have with the industry is a lot of times the narratives get twisted and turned around because it's never me talking to you. It's not me texting you saying how I feel. It's not me texting you or you. It's my people's people text you, and it's all miscommunication. So, you set up a radio interview, the artist doesn't know, and then you have to go back to the radio person and say, well, actually, it's canceled. Meanwhile, the artist didn't even know that it was even set up, so I don't even want you to think it's canceled.
That happens,
and
yeah.
then the radio person thinks that, oh, well, fuck you because you canceled on. It's like it's all this weirdo miscommunication. I'm not with it. So all that is just miscommunication. And my thing is just that,
There's no part of it that was you think that you came into it with a chip on your shoulder?
Bro, I came into it with a chip on my shoulder because I've been making beats since I was 14, and it took me 10 years to get on. You feel me? Like at the end of the day, like this is a real come up.
I was 30 when I made it to Hot.
Yeah,
and I bought my turntables at 14.
Bro, I'm not taking that away from you.
So I'm saying we all go. That's a common experience.
I'm not saying that, but however you interpret your own come up and however you internalize it and then express it is on you. And at the end of the day, it's like, bro, if I want to express my come up in a way where it's like, yo, man, I finally made it and it feels good, and I want other people to know that, look, you've only been given this your dream 4 years, and you're giving up. Chill out. Stick with it for 10 years. Stick with it for 20. That's my message. You know what I'm saying? So when I be going hard, whatever, like, it doesn't offend. Like, here's my thing too is that I'm proud of the fan base that I've created. Are there people?
You should be. So it's a big fan base.
Are there people who don't like me? Yeah, but are there people who absolutely love me and actually love me? Like, here's the thing. I could come on interviews and I could have done my whole career different, which is what I said in Sore Loser. I could have played it all different. Could have buddied up with rappers for the sake of looking cool, but it's not in me to be fake. You know what I'm saying? It's like...
And you still got your fan base doing it the way you did it.
So, guess what? All my fans, they're not going anywhere. Why? Because if you're a fan of Russ, you just actually like me. Like...
It's certainly like the bars.
You know what I've said. Thank you. You know what I've said. You know where I stand. Like, everything. Like, I could be quiet. I could just do interviews. I could do no interviews. I can just make music and put it out and tour and repeat. And you don't know where I stand on anything. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that y'all know where I stand on everything, granted, have there been people that maybe be like, you know what? I'm done listening to this because I don't really like what you feel on this issue. Sure. But then I play the forward game. I'm like, you know what? If I lose 2, I'm gaining 5. That's why I play. So you know what? You might have gone away, but I want people who actually like me for me because it makes me feel more comfortable with my life. So the people and the fans that I have, the only reason why I'm doing Staples Center with no openers on a second album is because people actually, like, you may not like me, but the ones who do really like me. And I don't want in between fake love. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of this in between fake love.
But on that, right? You've created this whole fan base your way, the way you want to do it. And you mentioned you only have 2 albums left on your deal? And then you're out?
Well, I have 2 albums left on my mental, spiritual,
life.
psyche.
Yeah, his life deal.
But if you've done it your way, exactly the way you want it to make you feel comfortable, like why wouldn't you just continue to do it your way? You don't you don't have to buddy up with everybody. Like you said, there's plenty of artists.
I didn't
So
say
you don't
that's
want to be
the
my friend?
issue.
Is that what you're saying? You don't want to be buddies?
No. The issue is that when
Get
you
close
get
now.
into it to just make music, you think that it's just about the music, and you learn that it's not just about the music. And my thing is that I don't expect anyone to understand. I don't expect anyone to sort of feel sorry. I'm not looking for that. I'm just giving my truth, and my truth, and my truth is that getting into this, it's a lot of negativity. It's a lot of stuff I didn't sign up for. It's a lot of stuff that's outside of the studio that I was just trying to make songs, and that's it. I was trying to tell my truth and inspire kids that, you know what, you don't have to be the greatest guitarist, pianist, beat maker, singer, rapper. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That's my whole message. That was my whole message. So getting into this, when you realize that it's not about that, it's more about other stuff, and it's too much. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something, like I said, it's not a healthy breeding ground for a stable mental mind, and I'm not gonna succumb myself to it just for the sake of moving up. Like, I'm cool on that. Like,
I would just listen, you do whatever you like. It's doing great for you, and you're going to leave with money for your family, and you're going to be straight. So you don't really need my help on this. But
if you have any song ideas, sell them or something.
Yeah, there's a lot. You have a lot.
I'm gonna always be making music. That's the thing. I'm always be making music. But I'm more talking when I say I'm done. It's more like,
but I was
you're
just
not gonna see me.
I was just going to contend that your perspective that you see it from was a totally reasonable perspective for someone to have. But I would say, we all know many people who have thrived in this business for a long time, not become assholes, they do exist. It may not suit your personality, but we could all go through a list of people who Ebro's known for 25 years who are still there, still professionals, and have a good life and don't lose their fucking mind.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
well, to that point, that's why I'm proud of myself. Is because to even make it to this point, you know, well, I haven't dipped to LA. I didn't get on the scene. I didn't start doing all this nutty ass
Keep
stuff.
saying dip to LA, bro.
Yo, LA.
You talking shit about somebody. I let it slide the first time. That was like the third time.
What are you
Bro,
doing?
I'm not talking about
Who dipped to
anyone,
LA?
bro. But like, can we just call a spade
No.
a spade?
I know
Everybody
what you
gets
mean,
money and dips
yes.
to LA to network and be on the scene. My thing is like,
That's where the producers are. That's where the songwriters
No, but that's
are.
what I'm
That's where the
saying,
There are no
studios
musicians there though. That is
no, that's,
What did he say? He didn't do. He
I'm
chose
kidding,
not to do
bro.
that.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm not. I don't understand the downside. Like if I was a pro musician, would I spend half my time in LA?
You saying that you don't understand the downside is just like kind of it lacks context for this conversation, because if you don't understand the downside of just thinking that it's time to pack up your bags from Indiana and dip to North Hollywood in a 1-bedroom just so you can be on the scene. If you don't think
No. To do it just to be on the scene is whack.
that's what everyone. What do you think people are doing it for? The palm trees?
For ages, no.
Like,
but
what are you
for-
talking
but
about,
for
bro?
generations, Russ, people have been moved to Hollywood to get discovered. That's a normal
here's
thing.
okay. Let
That's a thing.
me take the narrative. Word of advice for artists: when you're getting money, guess what you do? Take your little show money, dip to LA for a weekend. Do that 6 times out of the year before you move out there.
I think it's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Go spend weekends out there. Like, I spent weekends and months out there enough to know that, you know what? It's not for me. I spent weekends out there for years.
I'm the
I
same,
I
bro.
bought a house. I didn't buy. I spent money, an absurd amount of money for a house for a week in Beverly Hills. I did all that, but like, I knew not to pull the trigger on the whole, like, I'm living in LA.
Right, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Dude, like, you
No,
have
I agree with you on that.
you have enough money to explore your options. Like, explore the option of, you know what? I will go stay in LA for a week or a month and do that. But like,
Now LA cats gonna be like, Russ hates LA.
I love LA, bro. I love
Russ
LA for
says
what it
fuck
is.
the
But I
West
think
Coast. Oh shit! East West Coast beef back. Russ.
I think a lot of kids are I think a lot of kids are misguided, and I think a lot of kids are being led down the wrong path via what they're seeing on Instagram or whatever. You know, they're being shown this life, and I'm not sitting here trying to complain about my life and say this is not great, whatever. Like, that's the duality. That's the internal conflict. Is I have everything I dreamed of. I bought my mama a house. She's shopping for a beach house right now in Florida as we speak. You know what I
Stay
mean?
stunting too. I
Like,
noticed that you be stunting though.
low key, but.
It's not that,
Not that
low.
low key.
I think
medium
I think
key.
gonna kill everybody or kill them all. I heard about a Ferrari. Ran somebody over a Ferrari. It was a
but
mansion.
that's
what I like.
I was
You
like,
can do
this
that.
ain't low.
Yeah,
As
but
you
like,
should.
you know, my point is that, you know,
Rapper, goddammit.
right?
Let people fucking know.
But that was by the way, that was my response to a lot of people when I tweeted.
He's a
just
rapper.
today. They were like, he's arrogant. I was like, he's a rapper.
Yeah, but it's like,
what the
it's
fuck are
because
you
We're
talking
supposed
about?
to. That's supposed
Yeah.
to be a thing.
But I think it's because you are it's like you said, it's a duality. It's a self-made,
Yeah.
independent guy who promotes do it your way, right? But then you deliver an arrogance, right? As well as a kind of tone of, how come y'all ain't fucking with me? You see, I'm doing it myself. But it's tough for people to digest that,
Nah,
because
it
it's like,
is.
no, you're successful. Why are you complaining? Everybody likes you. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't like you. I get more retweets by not liking you. Let's
Right.
go. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's real.
well, the thing is too, it's one thing to be. I was this cocky when I was 5, when I was 10. I've been like, it's like
You're
telling it.
Italian from Jersey.
It's like-
I think more people need to go on a tour
Let
through
me-
Jersey Italians to understand Russ.
Let me
A
say
little.
this though. Let me say this though. When you're fat your whole life, right, and you're 30 years old and people are calling you fat, it doesn't really bother you anymore. Like, it might, but like, there's a lot of fat people who's just like, I've been called fat. Like, you think that that's what's gonna do for me? Right. Like, it's not. I've been called cocky since I was 5. You feel me? So my thing is like, you know, it's just self-sufficiency, bro. It's believing in myself, and my whole thing has just been about promoting believing in yourself. And it's like, yo, if I want to big myself up, like, get over it, bro. There are rappers who literally, like, so you're telling me that because I promote self-sufficiency via produce, mix, master, whatever by me, and because I promote hard ticket sales, aka longevity, wealth for your family, because I do all those things, you think that that's worse than constantly showing in your face jewelry that you don't own that's half CZ and fucking shows that you're actually
CZ?
opening?
Cubic zirconium.
Yes.
But I'm saying it's like, we live in a culture that glorifies fucking idiots who promote half CZ jewelry, who open up on festivals, who post the video of them doing that at a festival, trying to make it look like I performed for 10,000 people. You were the opener at a festival, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a fake ass industry and a fake ass world, and I'm not with it. Like, y'all not about to tell me that promoting fake shit is doper than real shit. And just because I'm more harsh about it, and my how is different than the cornballs who be promoting CZ jewelry and fucking, oh, I'm at this festival, I be paying on, I play a private jet, but you don't own your masters and you don't sell any, you have no revenue streams, people own your shit. You tell me that motherfucker is a better thing to listen to? Come on, bro. I'm not hearing none of that shit.
I think that.
Hold on, I'm not.
You're not gonna do it on my show, brother.
I'm not hearing
none
of that
shit.
shit.
Let's not get crazy. I'm supporting you. Don't shut me down on my own shit. So
you would shut me down, but go ahead.
Yeah, because it's my shit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But the point I think is for a lot of people is they like you, they love you, they love your music. But some people, I think a majority of people.
Majority is a strong word. Go ahead.
No, a majority of when I say just your average everyday person loving music, they just get caught up in the entertainment value. They don't know what's real and what's fake. So I do believe that there are people who appreciate somebody like you pointing out the difference. I believe that that's never really been celebrated in hip hop culture. Whether even when you look at somebody like a KRS-One back in the day, who's one of my top MCs all time.
Yeah.
Right. He never got mainstream celebration the way I felt he needed to for what he was talking about, keeping it real, talking about the shit that mattered, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop him from being on his mission and celebrating his fans. And I'm happy that you have a fan base, right?
Me too.
Of people that you could, if you wanted to, you could ignore all the fake shit. You don't have to pay attention to that shit at all.
I'll get into that, but go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? And just focus on the people who are celebrating you.
I hear that, and I hear that every day from fans, and artists hear it all the time. Focus on the good. Why do you even respond to the negative? And it's like, you're getting told respond to only the love but not the hate from people who, if 3 girls in their contact list say something mean about them, they're bent out of shape. You're getting 3
would be a lot. That's a bad day.
You're getting that type of advice from people who can't handle 3 people saying something mean about them, and they're telling you to ignore thousands of people a day giving you death threats. Like, your context is off, and you don't have enough.
But if it helps, we are in the same. We all get.
I get everything.
We get lots of death threats.
That's what's up. But so there's still levels to it.
No, but I mean, I've had my entire life taken over where I had to.
I know, bro,
they're going in my wife's account and threatening my wife. Like, we've all been, bro. People posted pictures of our family.
I'm not saying that you have, bro. Come on. Bro.
No. So sometimes when people give you,
I'm just saying
sometimes the advice that people give you aren't people who can't relate. They're people who really relate.
I'm not talking about you and you. I'm talking about Joe Schmo in North Dakota who's like, bro, just you know what I mean?
Because I actually really feel your pain, and I know how hard it is. But I still feel you'd be better off focusing on the positive.
Bro, I mean,
we just trying to help you, brother.
Look, I'm not mad at that, bro. The reality is this, bro. We live in a world who loves you when you're gone more than they do when you're here. And so all this focus on the positive, that's all cute and dandy for conversation's sake, bro. But the reality is that
it's hard.
Bro, fuck hard. The reality is that the reality is that Mac Miller has a #1 album when he's gone, and that's screwed up. You know what I'm saying? Because if y'all loved him that much, and all this love y'all showing him, why didn't you do it when he was alive? And that's the problem, bro. That's the problem with society. Y'all people who were talking all this crazy stuff, yo, keep it. Astroworld's dropping. Keep it. I'm going to keep it real with you, Chief. Y'all hear something? All y'all doing all this are the same ones trying to be like, chill out. We're bumping Mac Miller all day today in respect. It's like, in respect.
People are fake.
Yeah, okay. So my point is that don't fuck up my peace of mind while I'm alive and then wish me to rest in peace, because I'm not with that. So all this, I hear you and I hear it every day. Focus on the positive. Of course, bro, but at the end of the day, someone like me who blew up on social media by interacting with my fans, I'm going to get all that. There's no filter on Twitter and Instagram where it's like, separate negative comments from positive. You have to get all the bad from the good. And the
or just choose none of it, which isn't easy. Just be like, I don't check my comments, and
right. And I don't partake in social media, which means that you're turning your back on the thing that actually got you here.
You can't do that. It's against the law.
Right. So so then you gotta go through it. What? And it's like, bro, at the end of the day, I'm just not here with the fake stuff and with the idea of the internet culture that wants to bully people I've said before, the internet is a big high school, and the little kids on there are bullying artists, and they be surprised when artists are talking about pain and yo, this is too much and this is crazy. Y'all are the bullies, but then y'all turn around and post 4-picture collages on Twitter about depression and mental health, but then turn around and contribute to the downside of an artist's mental health. Pick a side of the fence.
You're not wrong about that.
You know what I'm saying? Pick a side of the
We pick a side?
Pick a side.
Pick a side.
Y'all cannot be the same people who say mental health is real, but turn around and you do your 4-picture collage, a quote from this poem, a quote from this, a quote, and then turn around and say, should have been you. Like, y'all are bugging. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are literally poison. And the more famous you get, the more uglier the world gets. And that's why I'm out this shit. This is not meant for people who want to partake in this involvement. My generation is the first generation who has to partake in social media as a part of being popping. Like Eminem and Kanye West at 26 on Twitter would have been a scary sight for people.
Yeah, well, they would not have done well.
You know what I'm saying? Like Eminem, Tupac, Kanye on Twitter would have been a scary sight. So all you're getting with me is I'm not comparing myself to those people, but I'm just saying I'm outspoken. You feel me? And this is not the place for me.
We actually talked about you in relation to people saying that you were, had an attitude or you were arrogant with regard to the early Kanye days, because there was no social media in 03, 04.
Right.
But Kanye would be at photo shoots being like, I'm the fucking Louis Vuitton Don.
That's
and
ill.
Cussing out photographers.
How do you not fuck with that? Like, to me, right? To me, as a confident person.
But I'm just saying, for people who are not creative and not...
Yeah. It offends them, and it makes them feel inferior,
and I get it. They don't know how to deal with it.
Look,
and I think your expectation of the average human being is very high, because you're thinking that everyone is as pure as what you're trying to convey. And I think that you're getting let down more frequently.
Fair point.
Yeah,
fair point. No, that's a fair point. And I'll say this, though. But if my fault is that I expect and want people to be better, then I agree. And I agree with the sentiment of, you know what? They're never going to be like that. They're never going to be that level.
People will try. Some will be.
Yeah, and you know what? But I just feel like with this platform, I'm supposed to do something, bro. And I'm supposed to make kids feel like they can do it too. Like, that's my whole thing is like, bro, I'm like, my whole thing, that's what people have screwed up. My whole thing is I'm not shit. Like, I sucked at singing, I sucked at rapping, I sucked at playing the piano, the guitar, making beats, all that. I just busted my ass for a decade and just found my pocket and found my lane, and it worked. And I believed in myself enough past the failures to find myself a pocket in a lane that other people in the world resonated with. And so my whole message is that, look, if I can do it, you can do it too. So, it gets lost in translation, which is why I say on songs like, fuck that. It's like, bro, listen to the truth. Stop trying to translate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the truth, bro. Like, just because you don't like the messenger doesn't mean you have to try and like, but yeah, because it's the messenger.
People, that's what everyone does, though.
The message is now this, though. It's like, no, it's not. The message is this.
That's the Colin Kaepernick situation, though. People will try to do anything they can to twist overall message.
Yeah, but like, my whole thing is, bro, like, I'm very grateful for the life that I have. I'm grateful for being able to take care of my family. I'm grateful for the fans that like me for me, and I know that they like me for me because I'm unapologetically me. So if you like me, you like me. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I also understand that it's a negative place. This is not, when you're operating in your own bubble of your zip code and you're off and you're living in a 9-to-5, you deal with mean people on your Facebook of 2,000 friends. You feel me? And it's like, that's cute. But imagine, millions of people hating on you in your DMs from all over the world. Like, that's why when fans hit me up, and I love them for it, when they say, ignore them, it's like, yeah, but like, it's coming from someone who can't ignore 3 people in their zip code. So you're asking me to ignore millions of people.
They're trying to help you.
No, I understand that, but my point is this. You can't treat us and want celebrities to act like we are equal to you and then expect us to rise above certain emotional standards that you yourself are not even privy to. That doesn't even make any sense. You want us to be on the same playing field, meaning that you respond to 3 negative comments and I get 1 million and only respond to 1.
But they don't get the accolades, though, either. And the money and the celebration.
But you know what, bro? That's why I'm here to give perspective.
I hear you.
And those are your fans.
Saying?
They just trying to help you.
I understand. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at my fans. My fans are the greatest things that have ever happened in my life. I'm not mad at them. I'm simply providing a perspective because society has this whole thing skewed with celebrity culture. So, like, society is making celebrity culture go crazy, bro. So society is making celebrities who have worked their ass off and have dedicated blood, sweat, and tears. You got grown men, millionaires, turning off their comments because like it's too much, bro. Like
I agree.
You
Listen,
can't.
you're
You
right.
like look. Drake is my favorite artist of all time. He's got his comments limited to who follows him. If that doesn't indicate to you, Kanye doesn't have an Instagram. Jay-Z doesn't have an Instagram. J. Cole's not on his Instagram. Kendrick is not on his Instagram. You cannot tell me that the elite of rap is even mixing and mingling with y'all's consumer-ass
And by the way,
opinions.
I don't think you have, and I think you could be there too if you didn't want to.
I agree.
Your
But
fan base is here now.
I agree. And I agree with that.
And like, if you wanted to check out, I actually think more people are starting to. More people are turning off their Twitters. More people are checking out.
Well, I'm about at that point, but my point is that you look at the upper echelon of rap, they're not mixing and mingling with y'all for a reason, bro. J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake, Jay, Kanye. Go find me 30 posts combined on Instagram in the past 10 years of them.
I know. Gambino doesn't do shit.
Gambino, you're not finding it, bro. It's because they know what's up. They know what's up, bro. Drake is out here limiting comments. Why? Because guess what, bro? I am not trying to even see this type of negativity. My life is too positive to involve myself in this negativity. And yes, there's an argument. Get over it. You got money. You're a crybaby. Cool. That's what's up. I hear that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But at this,
that's what's up is such a useful phrase.
Nah, but it's like, but at the same time, bro, we're humans, and you can't call celebrities gods, and you're such a god, and you're the greatest. But then expect us to also operate at an emotional standard that's.
No, I hear you. Listen, you make a lot of reasonable points. I think you're a great rapper. I'm excited about the music.
Thank you so much.
That's it. I don't think I need to give advice to you. I think that you see the world in a certain way that is interesting. It's what makes your interviews compelling. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
As you get older, my personal opinion is that your perspective on how shitty things are, no matter what you may think, a good piece of that also comes from your eyes and your brain and the way you feel.
You're 100.
That is real.
No, you're 100% right, and I want to touch on that too. You're 100% right, and what I see, and there's a problem with celebrity culture, and I'll own up to that. Is that we get DMs, we get negative DMs, but we also get love DMs.
For sure.
We get fan DMs of saying, but there's something that happens, bro. I don't know what it is, but there's something that happens where, unfortunately, the negative sounds louder. And I think it's because in order to be an artist and someone of this public acclaim, you already feel great about yourself to a point that you're confident enough to put yourself out there. So when you feel great about yourself and you're putting yourself out there, when people come with positivity, you're almost like, I know, right?
You're full of it already.
You kind of greet it with like, when a fan DMs
Take
you,
it for granted.
Well, yeah, you do. Unfortunately, when a fan hits you and like, yo, you're amazing, whatever, you're kind of like, subconsciously, you're like, scroll. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm here.
Right. Where's the negative one?
Right.
And that is on us.
Yeah,
as humans.
And that's on us. And I'll 100% agree with that. I'll 100% always agree with that. And that's a fault that us as artists need to work on. And that's a fault. And like I said, I'm 25, about to be 26. I'm not perfect.
You got time. Listen,
I'm not perfect.
It's important that we ask you this though before we get done here. So you are someone who does everything.
Yeah.
Someone who didn't always do it, but was incredibly capable and did it often was Mac Miller, who just passed away.
Yeah.
A guy who could do like every single thing there was to do.
Yeah.
Just Mac Miller is an artist. I don't know if you knew him at all personally.
I never met Mac Miller. I never talked to Mac Miller. But I feel like, it kind of goes into what we've been talking about. And like I said, I never met him. I never talked to him. But
you missed out. He was a treat. He was a treat of a person.
I'm sure he was. And I studied everything, every artist, excuse me. But when you go watch this 2016 Fader documentary and I was 18, 19 when Blue Slide Park came out. And so I was around for when the internet killed him for Blue Slide Park. Mm-hmm. I was around for that. You know what I'm saying? When Pitchfork destroyed him, and I was around for when you're catching videos of him in the studio, doing things with certain artists that you're like, oh man, like I didn't see you doing this type of stuff. And, drinking lean with French Montana or in the studio with Nipsey.
I saw that video the other day.
You know what I'm saying? And you hear the 2016 Fader documentary of him saying, basically like that critique of that Blue Slide Park led him to kind of like, man, just like, man, this is
fucked with them.
This is fucked. and you go to LA and you start experimenting with drugs and whatever, and next thing you know, you're addicted, and that's a real thing. But I think us as a culture, this is the first generation, we have to start holding the internet responsible. We have to start holding the internet culture responsible. We have to stop dismissing the fact that it holds no weight and that it's all jokes and you should get over it. I think Mac Miller is one of the first people that I can know in recent memory where the internet, I think the hate really clearly played a role in it. Because if you look at, like, granted, it sounds like it was an addiction, overdose, whatever, right? But if you go back to step one of why he even started doing it, it sounds like it was that 2011 Blue Slide Park and the critique of internet blogs and whatever.
It's interesting to hear you say that, too, because I've thought for a long time that, artist development and getting artists ready and paying your dues was always a part of the hip-hop thing. And for the last, 10 years, I've been one of the people that's like, yo, some of this music is minor leagues. This artist isn't ready for prime time. This stage performance, this guy's not ready. Yeah. This ain't ready. The music ain't there. The lyrics ain't there just because I'm from a different era, right? Yeah. Where it was like the public didn't even hear your music until
the entryway was so tough to get in that by the time you could be a one-hit wonder. By the time
you got in, it was dope.
And and one of the things I've been sitting here listening to you at 25, you've accomplished so much,
Thank
right?
you.
But part of the shell or the callousness of how you go about expressing yourself is built because you didn't have people around you that was like, yo, ignore that, B. That's part of the game. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take it a step further. If they don't have an opinion of you at all,
you're washed.
Is more dangerous than them having a negative opinion.
And that's the approach I take.
But you gotta learn that. Like these guys will get at me. They'll be like, "Why are you arguing with this egg on Twitter?" I'll be like, I need to spar today. I need to get at it with somebody just because I've been in this game 30 years and I'll pick up the phone
and you're more
back
comfortable
in the
with
day
it.
and argue with people and see people I argue with at the club and we would go rounds or fight or get into whatever. Yeah. I'm from that era, but I'm 43. I've been doing it 30 years. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's
Mac
different.
got on at 16, and to your point, interestingly enough,
no, that's all. Can I extrapolate on that point?
Yeah,
because the thing with Mac too is, like I said, when you watch that 2016 Fader interview and he says, people will call me the corny white rapper, and I'd rather be that than in the house on drugs and mess. And I think it's really unfortunate that the internet culture absolves zero responsibility for what they do to artists. And they all chalk it up to it's a joke or you should ignore it. And I think that's whack. Because I think that the internet is one big high school. And I think that the kid in your high school, who I went to school with numerous of them, I think the kid in your high school who commits suicide because the bullying was too much, I think for you to then turn around and say it was all a joke is really, really fucked up. Or you should ignore it. And that's what hip hop is. So
you're dead right about that.
So forgive me for feeling a certain way when people tell me to ignore it, but God forbid, right? God forbid I was to take my life, you would have a different perspective on the whole ignore it thing.
You're right.
So that's why I say that whole ignore shit, suck your saliva. You feel me? Come up with a better.
Well, how about this?
Hold on. Come up with a better response to someone obviously going through pain than to simply ignore it. Because simply ignoring it, I guarantee you, Mac Miller had been told to simply ignore it, and it didn't work. So now result into a better alternative. And it's a shame that Mac Miller was and is so talented, and that it took him dying for the majority of public to recognize that he's so talented, to the point that now you nominate him as a #1 album. And now the same people who, when Astroworld was dropping, what are you doing, Mac Miller? Keep it. Who listens to Mac Miller still? Now y'all same people are saying, man, RIP a legend. I got Mac Miller on repeat.
So that's not, that really happened?
What do you mean that really happened?
On Mac Miller?
Yeah, we don't even know. We didn't even.
I never knew that.
Oh, that's what I'm saying though. So I'm coming from I'm in the internet, bro.
Right.
Like,
I know you are.
I'm in it, bro. Attention. Motherfuckers know what time it is. Like on the internet, like they know when when I was
dropping, women came out and Astro was out, people shit on.
When I was dropping 4 songs, like I knew I was dropping Zoo, and for the 4 weeks prior to it, I was gonna drop a song just to get fans like hyped. And this is when Astro was like, it might drop this Friday, it might drop this Friday.
Yep.
Like, so every time I was dropping a song on a Friday for those 4 weeks, it was, keep it, Chief, we got Astro coming tonight. Keep it, Chief. Nah, we don't want that, we got Astro. 4 weeks in a row.
Yep.
When Astro was finally announced on August 3rd, and Swimming was announced on August 3rd, and YG was announced on August 3rd, everyone was hitting Mac Miller and YG with, keep it. We got Astro. those same kids are saying R.I.P. as if y'all were not contributing to the dismissiveness of someone's talent. Suck your saliva and suck dick, bro. Y'all are fucking fake loving pieces of shit trending for the sake of just like trying to be amongst, bro. I'm not with that shit, bro. I'm not with that shit. That shit is fucking crazy to me. And that's why I say that ignore shit is whack to me,
Let me just
bro.
explain one thing about the ignore part, though. For the record, I understand every point you said just made sense. But just know when some people tell you ignore, they're not trying to absolve the assholes who are coming for you. They can't deal with those assholes.
I agree.
All they can do is try to protect you.
I agree.
So that's it. Because I try to ignore it. I've turned off comments.
Yeah.
Some days, if we said something on the radio one day that upset people, I delete Twitter from my phone for a week. That's because I can't deal with them.
No.
You're trying to fight. I respect it. It's admirable that you believe we should change the way the internet is viewed, and we should, because it is fucked up.
Yeah.
And just because you have no followers doesn't mean you should be able to write it off. People can attack you and threaten you.
Yeah.
You have no fucking recourse. If you try to go to Instagram and Twitter and try to be like, hey, someone's making serious threats, I don't know what to do. Good luck trying to get that solved. They can basically just fucking hide.
Right.
So I totally get where you're coming from, but just know that when some people are like, hey, ignore it, it's just because they love you.
No. And I want to clarify. I know when people are saying ignore, I know it's from a place of love. I know it's from a place of we're looking out for you and we want you to be in a good, healthy mind state. We don't want you to focus on this. I understand that. Why I rebuttal with, and I don't rebuttal to them, I say thank you, I appreciate that, I love you, thank you so much, because it's a nice, that's good energy. But in my own space,
you're like, fuck the internet. I shouldn't have to ignore it.
I shouldn't even have to ignore it. You know what I'm saying? And that's my perspective. Is that yes, you saying ignore it is a great energy. It's a positive energy, and I listen to it, I hear it. But at the same time, when you're living in this space where it is impossible to ignore, you know what I'm saying? Then it's fucked up. And like I said with the Mac Miller shit, bro, it's fucked up. It's fucked up, and I think it's a shame that someone who was so talented had to wait until they passed to see how much everyone loved them. And I think that's whack. And I know people are gonna watch this interview and say, because when I said R.I.P. Mac Miller, everyone killed me with, where was that energy with Lil Peep? I want to say to the Lil Peep shit, that's also a sad state of affairs, the Lil Peep thing. And I wore that Xanax and Lean shirt way before he passed. You can check the Instagram, everything. But my thing with the Lil Peep thing was that Lil Peep was amazing. Awful Things is like a fire song. None of us, we didn't know his brilliance till he died. He was a brilliant kid. Super talented. My thing was that I was not demonizing Lil Peep for being addicted or depressed. In fact, in my tweets regarding that whole thing, I said depression and addiction is not a joke. However, my thing, it has been before he passed, after, and moving on. It will always be. I understand if you're in your music, that's what you got to talk about. That's what you're going through. I get that. But and it's not just him. It's different artists. It's a bunch of artists. When you're making merch, when you're posting on the gram, certain things, you gotta understand, a lot of people's Instagrams go further than their songs do. Like
promoting drugs, man.
Yeah, like, so at the end of the day, it's like you gotta just keep it real with yourself. Like, what side of the fence are you on? Do you care about kids? Because if you care about kids, you either A, not gonna be posting merch of me doing Xanax and Lean and all this sort of shit and making a game out of it like you're doing that, or B, you don't know that you're affecting kids. But either way, you're in the wrong, because guess what, bro? Hate to break it to you, comes with the dinner of being famous. You're influencing the kids. So true. You're in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? You're in the wrong. I don't care how you like. And a lot of people are mad at my how. They're mad at my when I mentioned the drug shit with Lil Peep. But I've been mentioning it beforehand,
Same shit. We went through that with the XXX shit too.
Not to cut you up, but I really need to clear, because it's an everyday thing with me, and I need to really clarify.
Do people really come for you about this all the time? Is that what you're saying?
All the time. Even when I said R.I.P. Mac Miller, it was where was that energy with Peep? And it's like, bro, listen, like, it was never a fuck Lil Peep. Like, Lil Peep's music was amazing. It was more of a, and it was never a depression or addiction as a joke. And you could go read the tweets, and the shirt I posted was towards the little white kids in the suburbs who don't have real problems, who do it while they're playing beer pong because they think that that's the wave to do. That's who I was talking to. Now, if you interpreted it in a different way and felt offended, then so be it. But the Lil Peep thing is like, bro, he was an amazing artist. He was really talented. And my thing, before he passed, after he passed, and it will always be, is that if you're going to be an artist in today's day and age with a platform, bro, you either A, don't give a fuck about kids, and you consciously don't give a fuck about kids, right? Or you B, you do. You know that the kids exist and you don't. Because if do I smoke? Do I drink? Yeah. But do I sell T-shirts? Like, look at my hat. It's a wolf. There's really a wolf. It's about coming up. Boy Who Cried Wolf. That's what it's about. Do I make T-shirts?
I thought it was about your beard.
No, but do I make T-shirts that have a tequila bottle on it?
No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like, at a certain point, depression and addiction is real. But when you start using it as an image and branding and start making money off of it, I do start to question the authenticity. And if that makes me the bad guy for calling it out, you know what? So be it, bro. So be it. Because guess what? Realistically, I don't fuck with none of y'all anyway, bro. I don't fuck with none of y'all anyway. Y'all got 10 million followers, but can't sell out 1,000 people in your own city. I don't fuck with none of y'all anyway, bro.
And I think that you're a part of a community too.
Bro, I'm doing the Staples Center, 13,000 in LA with no openers. Y'all motherfuckers are trying to talk to me about.
But you're a part of an era, right? Because you're 25, that doesn't appreciate what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's more about timing. But look, man, you got a fan base. You got an album called Zoo. When's it come out?
Zoo's been out.
It's out now?
Zoo's been out.
How long?
2 days. Came out on September 7th.
Oh, so just came out Friday.
Literally 3 days ago, yes.
Yeah, just came out Friday. Zoo's available now. I thought it came out this coming Friday. How many records on there?
14.
And what's your fan favorite so far?
The fan favorite is Missing You Crazy, I think. Missing You Crazy in voicemail, but the album that I'm proud of it because I dove deep. I feel like for me, it was always really easy to do melodies and come up with hooks and hits. That was always an easy thing for me. So I wanted to make sure that, you know what, I want to tell a story on this album. And I think the bigger you get, the more responsible you feel, hopefully. Where it's like, you kind of feel like, you know what, it's actually not about me anymore. Like when I was coming up, it was like, I'm trying to get on. I'm trying to do these things to get on. But then once you get on, you're like, yo, I got people in Australia hit me up crying, saying that I saved their life. Like,
so you're doing it for a different reason.
Well, I'm still doing it for me because you don't want to be a vending machine where you start pumping out. Fans say I need A1, then I need B3. You don't want to do that. But Zoo is my most personal music, and it touches on everything. And I encourage kids to, if you feel alone, hopefully the music that I make gives you solace in that, and if not, hopefully you find healthy alternatives. But I just think that when it comes down to it, I think that what I'm providing for music, let alone hip hop, culture, and everything, it's a good message. You know, I'm not out here promoting really bad stuff. Like, am I confident? Am I overly confident? According to people's measure, sure, but
you're grumpy and you talk shit. And
no, but like it's not even nah, because you know
you're
what?
You're a grumpy New Jersey kid. You talk a lot of shit.
Nah. It's not even matter of that, bro. I was 17 off and broke with nothing in my pocket, and I resonated with Floyd and Kanye. You feel me? Why? Not because they made me feel inferior, because they made me feel like I could do it too. And so my music resonates with a certain type of person. My music resonates with people who feel like, you know what? Him talking his talk is not trying to make me feel like, ha, I'm better than you. It's, yo, if I can do this, you can do it too. Yeah. And that's it. Now, if you get the whole message of like, if you misinterpret it like, man, he's just trying to shit on me, that's your prerogative, bro. I can't interject how you feel when you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not shit. That's got nothing to do with me, bro. You got to figure that shit out with you, yourself, your cereal, and your mirror. Shit ain't got nothing to do with me. But what I'm doing is I'm being me, and I'm just trying to let people know that, you know, you is not so bad, and you being confident in yourself is not so bad. And are people gonna hate it? For sure. But why? Because most of the world hasn't even figured out what they want to be or who they want to be until they're 30 plus. And so you're listening to a bunch of people mad at themselves because they're living a life that is fueled by dogma and fueled by I'm living according to my parents told me I should do this or society told me to
social programming,
all that stuff. So you're living life according to those blinders and that tunnel vision. And I'm here to tell you that, shout out to Steve Jobs. I'm here to tell you that there's a button before the walls of society happens that you can push and you pop out on the other side and you skip the wall. So, if you don't like that, then your whole perspective is whack. And that's why, I'm gonna give 2 more albums to my fans, bro. And you're not gonna see me because this is not the world, like I said, for a healthy breeding mind to exist. And yeah, could you do better? Could you ignore? Could you do? Yeah, bro. But you know what? In what world do I need to bust my ass for over a decade so that I can settle emotionally? So that I have to man, I don't like this stuff, but I'm gonna settle. I busted my ass so I don't have to settle. You feel me?
So let's play Kill Them All then.
Do it.
Kill Them All, track 3 on Zoo, available now everywhere. You got Rose on the album.
Yes.
On track 12.
Can I tell the story of
Of course you can.
Rick Ross and Snoop? It was crazy. Y'all know Brett Barish?
Brett Barish, nah.
The CEO of Bel Air?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So
That's the champagne.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Brett, you owe me some money. Ross was trying to make me a black bottle boy. Y'all never cut me my check, but that's a different conversation. Go ahead.
Brett is one of the most amazing, genuine people that I've ever met in this entire industry period. But it was one of those situations. We were doing an interview with those self-made Bel Air pieces and went to a spot. I met him, super cool. And he's one of those just lively, just real
Genuine dudes.
genuine
Good
guys. And
party
he was
dude.
like, man, anything you need, just ask. And I'm the person don't tell me that, I'm gonna ask. You know what I'm saying? So I know Rick Ross and Bel. I was like, I got a song for Rick. Instantly asked them. The first time I met him, he was, anything you need, just ask. I was like, well,
I need Ross on the track.
I need Ross.
And you made it happen.
No lie. Less than 2 weeks later, Brett texts me, yo, Ross's verse on the beat. So I got Ross instantly, right?
That's fire.
That's dope.
Tight.
Instantly. Shout out to Ross and shout out to Brett. Now, so I'm sitting here. This is June. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I got Ross and I'm waiting to do my verse because I know I need another verse. So I'm like, yo, I gotta I'm not gonna do my verse yet. I gotta hear what everyone else comes with. Ross killed it. It was super dope because I got to mix Ross's vocals, doing the
having all the raw
having
vocals.
the raw. It's yo, are you serious? I was like, yo, this is ill. Whatever. So, it's July. It's about 3 days before I have to turn in the album, and out of nowhere, Snoop DMs me. Out of nowhere. I don't know anyone that knows Snoop. I don't know nothing. Snoop DMs me and just says, I love your music. And I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. I was like, this is crazy. What are you for real? This is ill. He's like, bro, here's my number. When you're in LA, please, let's link up, let's do songs. Excuse me. I was like, bro, absolutely. You're Snoop Dogg. So then I was sitting there for a day. I was like, you know what? I need this third verse. And the song's about last forever, and I'm hoping that it lasts forever. Who's better to speak on longevity?
Yeah.
Than
That's real
Snoop.
talk. That's real talk.
So it was I got Ross already, who's longevity proven. Let me get Snoop. Snoop sent it in 2 days. You feel me? I was in Marbella, Spain with my family. I was taking my mom out for her birthday. And I remember waking up. I was like, and Snoop DM me said, you got mail.
That's fire.
And I was like, yo, this is the illest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? And
that's the dream.
And it was the sickest verse ever. You listen to it and it's but that's it to me.
See, that's why we tell you to ignore the internet.
Yeah.
Shit
That's
like
fire.
that happens.
That's
No,
good.
absolutely. Listen, it's a juggling act. You feel me?
That's a good one, though. That's a good story to have.
Yeah.
bro.
Yo, let's play the Last Forever too.
Congrats,
So we're
Russ.
gonna play Kill
Thank
Them
you,
All. We're
bro.
gonna play Last Forever. Zoo's available everywhere. The outspoken,
Russ.
ever passionate Russ on the program. Give it up one time.
Thank you.